Okay, dear colleagues, in our session, I hope we're going to have a very fruitful discussion as we're talking about some of the most topical issues. And first of all, let me introduce the participants of our wonderful World Cup session. We have Marina Sannikova, Director, Center for International Education and St. Petersburg. Marina, great to have you. We also have Pinar Elbasan, Erasmus Institutional Coordinator from Istanbul Aydin University. Thank you very much for joining us, Pinar. We have Tran Chung, a researcher of FPT University. We also have Erin Monaghan, Directrice de Cours, Director of Faculty. And we also have Stephanie, German Department International Relations Coordinator. Stephanie, great to hear you. And we have Kenon, Head of Digital Marketing. So, yes, thank you very much. And I am sure that you all have something as parents, as educators, as teachers. Can you guys all hear me? I hope you can. You can just raise your hand or, yes, using nonverbal communication. All right, great. I look at you and I see you smiling, and that's wonderful. So for me, let me share my experience with you. I've been working as a university professor, and of course, when we first were asked in, I think in March 2020, we were asked to start using online platforms. This was not an easy decision. This was not something easy for us as professors, and it was not something easy for the students either, because they all had problems. I'm not talking about connection. Well, technical things, yes, they are present, but I would go deeper. I think that we are dealing with some issues concerning mentality. If you can think and you can imagine the person who's been teaching, who's been working as a scholar for many years, and well, he was using online resources, but he was not that focused on it, and now he has to switch completely and go online. What do you think are the main challenges of the online education? Maybe each of you wants to go over your own list, or maybe we can create the joint list. I would welcome you to share your ideas, because I'm personally very interested and excited and want to know more about your personal and professional experience. So whoever wants to jump in, just give me a sign, raise your hand. Marina, may I ask you, what do you think are the main challenges of online education? What was the most challenging thing for you?
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to share my experience. I basically think that when planning online studies, we have to think about different categories of participants and recipients. And speaking about main challenges, we at HEC University traced one very clear thing, that online education was a very different experience for first-year students who are just starting and who had to start their studies, especially international students, online this year. And another group are students who are continuing their education, being on the second or third. It's a life-changing thing, and they are not used to like the manner of studying in the university. They have to face a lot of new things, and I think that faculty should be very attentive and very devoted to this very group of students, because for many of them, like over the last 10 years, it's the first time when they are not starting their studies as usual, getting acquainted with the campus, getting acquainted with the city, and faculty should be very... Yeah, it's a real challenge and a real stress. But as Elizaveta mentioned, we should try to focus on positive things. So as for positive things, we have collected a lot of feedback from our students over second, third year of study, and many of them said that online studies help them to break the ice, if I may put it so, and see their classmates and their faculty from a completely new angle. because especially during the first stage of moving to online studies, the majority of people worked and studied from their homes. And this brought in a lot of funny situations, a lot of situations that might seem stressful, like, I don't know, your grandpa entering the lecture suddenly wearing his underpants only. But actually, it really helped to, students mentioned that it helped to raise their social skills, communicative skills. It helped both the faculty and the students to be more flexible because, I don't know, you have got acquainted with all the cats and dogs in the class. You have seen the picture that your very strict lecturer in applied economics painted during his or her vacations. And I think it's really great. And what I see now is that I'm much more open, much more flexible. And surprisingly, we all thought that online studies and distance education will like set us apart. But what I mention and what I see is that vice versa, it's bringing people closer and it's helping them to be more open, more attentive to each other. And well, I see this as a great win because we have managed to do that. And well, really, people, I think
what
that
I mentioned,
that's
what
the
I see is that vice versa, it's bringing people closer and it's helping them to be more open, more attentive to each other. And well,
I can hear myself
as a great win because we have managed to do that. And well, really, people, I think what I mentioned, what I see is that vice versa, it's bringing people closer and it's helping them to be more open, more attentive to each other.
Thank you so much, Marina. Yes, Stephanie, would you like to jump in? Yes. Stephanie, I can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes,
no?
right now. Yes.
I found it very interesting what Marina said, that we have different groups of students. But there's one group maybe that is very important, is the foreign students coming to the foreign country. And we saw at ENSEA where I worked, the students were abroad and straight away they were in a lockdown. And I think for this group is extremely difficult, because they are in a new place. They need normally the contact with people, explanations, the contact with professors, the contact with students, and the objective of their experience abroad is that they get in close contact with the country and the people in the country. So that is a group where it is, I think, in that sense, extremely difficult. And I think that we in the future have to work on, for example, intercultural trainings and coaching, and in general in trainings with soft skills, for soft skills online, and we have to improve this. This is it, and that is positive because that brings people closer and countries closer. Because I live in Europe, so if I want to see my partners, it's easy. I take the train. There's not a big distance. But the virtual world and the virtual exchange brings other countries like Russia, South Africa, America, Asia closer, and that's why we shouldn't just see it negative, we should see it as a challenge. How can we do that? Especially how can we now develop virtual trainings and coaching for soft skills? I think that's an interesting topic.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for bringing this. Please come in, jump in. Yes, I'd like to hear you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I agree with both speakers, and I think from a student's perspective, because online learning is such a relatively new concept. So they've had about 10 years of traditional teaching through primary school and high school, and then suddenly they're in this sort of online world. But I think there is positives to that. With online learning, there'll come a time when the choice comes from the student, so they'll have the opportunity to choose when they want to learn, how they want to learn. But I don't think they recognise that yet. that there's freedom that comes from not being taught traditionally, so they don't need to go to a classroom at a specific time. They can work part-time as well as learn. So I think it's quite an exciting time for higher education in the future.
Thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to ask you, don't you think it's a bit ironic when I can, going back before this pandemic and most of the students were communicating online, I would see that them, even during the lectures, exchanging messages in WhatsApp and looking through their Facebook pages. And now what happened, at least from what I've been observing, many students were looking for the face-to-face communication. And then when I had a lecture, I remember in Spain in April, I asked one of my one of the girls, one of the students, what do you want? What is your wish? He said, I want to chat in a real coffee shop face-to-face with my friends. And I also want to come to the lecture, and I promise not to skip any lecture. And I said, excuse me, I don't think this only because of the lecture. I also think this because you want to see your classmates, university mates. But isn't this ironic? Because they had this opportunity, they had this chance to go online completely, but then they realized, wow, this is nice. We have our advantages, but we're looking back and we're missing face-to-face communication. It's kind of this emotional aspect. Would anyone want to comment on this, or maybe bring up some other issues? Erin, maybe Doc, Pinar, is there anything you would like to, from your experience, from your observations, please? Doc, yes. Please go ahead. Oh, sorry, whoever.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm having some technical problems, I think, due to connections. I missed the question. Can I have it again? Good afternoon, everyone, by the way. Good afternoon from Istanbul.
Good afternoon, great. Yes, sure. We were, I was thinking about, we brought up different aspects of this issue. We're talking about challenges, talking about what we have to learn. And talking about new ideas and ability to look at the positive side. And now I was thinking if you could share your experience and your observations. And we'll give the floor to Doc, and then we'll go back to you, Pinar. Yes?
Thank you. So actually, we started online learning couple of years ago from university, because university we have another colleague which is the online. We actually prepare for it, and we move quite fast, and we can transfer to online learning easily. However, there are some technical difficulties when we apply the e-learning approaches and online teaching to the students, especially those who stay in a remote area. Because when they stay in remote area, there's a high-speed internet connection to connect to the online room. And sometimes they face the difficulties because suddenly there's blackout of electricity because it was during the summer time. And we have to conduct the lectures during the peak hours, which is from 9 to 2 p.m., 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. During that time, it was very hot, and a lot of people use electricity. And suddenly, there are some students that I faced, they got blackout, and there's no internet connection at all. And those who stay in remote area, they have only 3G internet connection, and basically they cannot join the meeting. And sometimes when they attend the class, they have some things that they have to do because the parents didn't know that they have to study online. And sometimes the parents they actually do not understand why the student pays the money, but they do not study offline. Instead, they study online. And the parents complain a lot about that one. And because of that issue, the university considered to reduce the fee for the student up to a certain amount. And also the university attempts to explain to the students and also the parents about the situation so that they can understand it better. So that's what happened in our country.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doug. And if you want to join in, can you hear us, Pinar? If you want to join us and share your experience, please jump in.
I'm not sure that you can hear me or not, but I would love to, of course, share our experiences as Turkey and Turkish universities. I appreciate if you write on chat if you can hear me or not, because I cannot hear anything right now. Kindly confirm that you're hearing me or not. Okay, perfect, because I cannot hear anything. First of all, I would like to thank to UrFU University for organizing the event as well as inviting me to this session. Actually, I'm sorry that I missed the first part where our other panelists were sharing their experiences, but I would love to hear right after this session through the recordings. So, as Istanbul Aydin University, you know, as the largest foundation university of Turkey, after the first case that was announced in Turkey around March this year, of course, our Council of Higher Education has taken some measures among all Turkish universities. And in Turkey, we have around 200 Turkish universities, and 80 of them are foundation non-profit universities, and the rest are state universities. Istanbul Aydin University is the largest foundation university among Turkey. And after having all the measures taken by Council of Higher Education, of course, the campus was closed to all students, and we had to conduct final examinations online, which was our first experience as Turkish universities. And of course, the Council of Higher Education has taken other measures in Turkey among all Turkish universities. And let me tell a little bit about our experiences, what Istanbul Aydin University has organized, has experienced during those terms, not only under international office, but also all inside the university. Of course, we think that every crisis has its own opportunity, and we developed many online seminars in collaboration with our partner universities. So, and we, it was free and accessible to all of our students as well as staff. We organized also many trainings to our international office teams. And of course, we had incoming students, exchange students at the partner universities. So we provided them many mailings, informative webinars, and also we created many WhatsApp groups in order to reach them, because we had around 100 students in our European partner universities. So we offered them support services. And also most of Turkish universities had their distance learning centers, and those centers helped Turkish universities to develop their distance education facilities, because the transmission was very fast among all Turkish universities. And starting from April, all Turkish universities started to give all the courses online. And some of the state universities were already offering open, we call it open faculties. So, and our Council of Higher Education also provided open materials, open courses. So state universities that don't have those facilities, their students were able to access those courses through the Council's system. And we also started online summer school. And normally, since 2014, we were organizing a Delightful Istanbul summer and winter school programs where we hosted around 600 students. And this summer, for the first time, we organized it online. So it was also a unique experience for us. We organized it in collaboration with Eurasian Universities Union, which is a network of universities. And we are very happy to host students through a virtual program, and they were very satisfied and content with the program. It was a 2 weeks program with credited, and we also provided some virtual tours of Istanbul as well as Turkey. And also we started this year for the first time virtual exchange. You know, Turkey is a program country of Erasmus Plus project. So this semester we are not able to send our students physically, but we will start sending our students starting from the spring semester. But this semester, students are able to take their courses online from our partner universities, and our partner universities are able to take our courses online through the virtual exchange program. But it's, of course, we created a limited source of courses. So I'm not sure I'm over time. Since I cannot hear you, please let me know if I can continue, or maybe
Sure.
I can continue with the other questions.
Yes, whatever you prefer. If you want to share more, that's fine. We have time. I would like.
Kindly write me on chat because I cannot hear anything right now.
Okay. Guys, we have, dear participants, we have a new.
This semester, we will be conducting a hybrid model. Campus is now closed, but at the end of October, we will be opening our campus, but not all the students will be able to enter the campus. Theoretical courses will be given online, and the practical courses will be given inside the campus.
Thank you. Thank you, Pinar. I sent you a message via chat. I would like to welcome our new participant, Bogdan Voronovskiy. Welcome to our chat. Welcome to our cafe discussion. And Bogdan is General Director at the Eastern European University Association. And since we were talking about the main challenges of the online education, if there is anything you would like to share with us concerning your experience, Stephanie, yes.
Yes, I just wanted to, like my colleague Pinar, I also wanted to thank UrFU for organizing this conference with an interesting and very modern topic, you know, and also for something organized this summer, a virtual exchange internship, and that was very interesting, you know. Because to just lay the ground, I'm from a French engineering school for electrical engineering, telecommunications, computer science. Our students have to go abroad in their studies once, it's mandatory. They have to also accomplish internships, and they start early in the years to look for internships, and when they found something, they're very happy. So this year was a catastrophe because the many internships were cancelled. You know, so they couldn't do what they have to do also to get their diploma as an engineer. So UrFU reacted very quickly, and they organized a virtual internship. And this virtual internship was highly appreciated by the students. And I thank the whole team of UrFU because they saved a few of our students, you know. They appreciated it because it was very well organized. It was a high standard in education. And they also appreciate the combination of practice and theory. That means the UrFU team involved the company, and that was for the students a real immersion into the working world, and that was good, you know. So they saved them somehow, and we all had a completely new experience. And they also managed to put some cultural elements in it, which was very nice, it just showed that in, for example, as I said before, in soft skills, we can work together, we can create things together, and that is maybe we can create more through virtual contact, But I just wanted to say that was our experience with UrFU, and I just wanted to thank UrFU and the team, the internship team, once again,
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's a pleasure to hear that, and we're trying our best. Bogdan, are you back?
Yes, sorry, I had some problems.
Yes, great. Would you like to share your experience? Would you like to say something? Yes, please.
Yes, I would like to say something about marketing and design. Due to pandemic and all these changes what we have in March and April, we start to find some solutions which can help universities to be more efficient in different markets. And what we found and what we did, actually, we saw that some universities, especially like middle size or maybe not the biggest one, they don't have enough budget to create websites in different languages for different countries. And we start to propose to universities to give kind of complex service when we create a landing page which is very easy to open through smartphone or tablet or laptop, and it is available in English, Arabic, Turkish, French, and Spanish, actually main markets as per Russian and Eastern European universities. And then next step is how to do the marketing online. As we know, for state universities, it's hard to do some activities through Facebook or through Google because you have to pay everything by card. And we proposed to universities this complex service that after we did the landing pages in a different language, we did for them a marketing campaign in those languages in Turkey, then in Arabic countries, in Latin American, then in Africa, French speaking and English speaking, and even Brazil, Angola, and Mozambique, which are Portuguese. And it was very efficient because universities can receive fresh and new leads of students. And for students, it's very easily and very nice way to read information about university without some extra information. Our main websites in English or in Russian are very heavy, too much information. But students, they need like list of courses, advantages, tuition fees, and how to apply, and easy procedure. And it was really efficient, and universities got many applications. And then third step or third component of this complex is online acquiring. Some of universities, again, as per Russia and Eastern Europe, they don't have USD accounts. How can you receive, let's say, registration fee from student to be sure that he is going to be your student and you are going to prepare for him contract or invitation? So, and we integrate online acquiring to pay some registration fee or deposit fee by card from all countries. And universities get a possibility kind of to have secure students who really want to study with them. And I think that it is applicable for many universities because we even have some clients from Western part of Europe where middle-sized universities, they want, let's say, to enter Turkish market or maybe even Russian market or some Arabic markets. They do need a website in English, in Arabic or in Russian or in Turkish, and they need the proper marketing in those countries. And hence we have, because we have our representatives, local people in those countries, so it's easily for us to do proper translation to understand how to do relevant marketing according to all cultural and mentality aspects, which helps to have good results about this marketing. Also about marketing, I would like to inform you that online fairs, which also be organized by us, what I suggest to all others, okay, if you do some online fairs, it should be not 1 day and not 2 days. Do it 3 or 5 days. Don't invite students on a special time. You should give them a very wide corridor of time. For example, 2 or 3 years ago, everybody who organized online fairs, they invite students in advance to come to this fair. But problem is, if you invite students in advance, let's say you inform them now through Facebook or Google, that guys, we are going to have an online fair or open door of our university. Please register, and then after 5 days it will start. The problem is, after 5 days when it starts and you want to notify them, you notify them by email, they read emails 1 time in 3 days. You don't have possibility to invite them or inform them by WhatsApp in a massive way. I mean, like, you can type 1 by 1. You cannot send 3,000 messages to different users. It's not possible. So that is why we decided to do marketing of the online fair during online fair, not before, not after. During online fair, it was 5 days, and when fair start, we activate marketing. And everybody who is open this advert now, it means that he has enough time or 5 minutes to enter fair now. He enter fair now and communicate with universities. And because of this, we don't lose those students who were interested to participate, but who were not able to enter at proper time, at time of when this fair were done. So, like, for a short resume, so I suggest everybody to think about landing pages in different languages. Don't put too much information, just main information. And it's cheap to do it. You can do it by yourself. And if possible, do marketing through local main messengers or social platforms like Facebook or Contact or Google. And also TikTok was very efficient, because actually our main clients are 18, 20 years old people. So their mind is like too soft, and they won't enjoy. And to catch their mind from this enjoyment to study, you have to find their mind in this TikTok. So it was also very efficient. And if you have possibilities, do marketing through social media. If not, you can find some companies to whom you can pay officially by agreement, and they will do social. They will do marketing through social platforms for you, and you will receive your leads. Then you work with these leads. And we suggest everybody, if you don't do it before, to take from students some deposit or registration fees. Then you know that they are serious. It can be a small amount, like 100 or 200, that they will be serious, and they will continue doing an agreement and then study with you. Because sometimes you have many leads, many questions, but they gone. So we need those who want to study and who can confirm that, yes, I'm a real student, I want to study with you, so I can, after you give me admission letter, I will do deposit or I will do payment of registration fee. And for this, you can use online acquiring. It's possible to use it without opening account in a foreign currency. And it applies for all countries, like Turkey, Eastern Europe, Russia, many countries. You don't need the account to charge people for registration fee online. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bogdan. That was quite insightful and quite informative, because I was thinking the online fair is one of the most effective tools. And what you just mentioned, when we can widen the amount of time within which the students can log in and learn more about particular programs, that would be better. Yeah. That would make it more effective, because yes, normally we want it kind of very, very strict. We want them to come at 2 o'clock. We want them to be there from 2 till 3. But what if they have some personal issues? So maybe the connection is bad during this time. And I also wanted to ask all of you, what do you think would be the most successful and the most appropriate tool in order to spread the information, share information about new programs? For instance, that is what we faced, or we're facing in our university, in our department in particular. At the Department of Journalism, we teach media, communication studies, TV and radio broadcasting, and well, previously it was possible to share information by words of mouth. You could talk to your friends, you could talk to the some of the high school seniors that you know, and they will, that they will share information with their friends, and somehow there will be a lot of more students informed and aware about your program. How now, since we switched online, it's well, some of the contacts, yes, we still have them, but it's not always possible to go back to those members of our database. So what could be the possible way to let more people be informed and be aware about the opportunities that we can offer as an educational centers? What do you think about that? Anybody wants to comment? To continue what Bogdan just mentioned, that was very informative, and thank you so much. I see. Okay.
Okay. I have to leave.
Somebody? Yes.
Class starting at 12 o'clock. I'm really sorry. It was really interesting. Thanks for inviting me. And well, talk to you maybe later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you, Stephanie. Marina, did you want to share your ideas?
Actually, I think I can now give floor to some of people who have raised their hands, and I will continue a bit.
Okay, I can start. Okay, so I think that the best way that we can use power of our current students, and almost all universities, you have your pages in Facebook and Instagram account, and then TikTok, and simply ask your students as much as possible, use your hashtag with your university name. It will help subscribers of your current students to be more involved in your life. And then by this soft power, you can keep their attention on your page, and then you can boost some information campaign. Let's say if they already subscribed to your page, and then you inform them, guys, we're gonna have some open door session or some webinar about our new programs. And I think the way of doing webinar is the best way to inform about new programs. But of course, you need some kind of those new eyes who will watch it. So to invite them or to keep them already in touch with you is using your current students. And of course, if you need more, just simply use marketing campaigns through Facebook, through Instagram, through TikTok, where you can define your audience and simply do adverts that you're going to have some new, very interesting and very modern and affordable programs. That's it.
Thank you so much, Bogdan. Now I saw that Kenon wants to comment. Please go ahead, and then we'll give the floor to the next participant. Okay, Kenon, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, same thing. So we use at Swansea University, and we're based in the UK. So we use our current students. So we've got a group of digital ambassadors that create content for us. And then we use our virtual open days as like the end point. So the whole point of the campaign is to get leads and to get registrations to the open day. So prior to that, we use our digital ambassadors to do Instagram takeovers, to talk about student life. We ask our sports societies to do takeovers. Then we liaise, because I work in the central department, so we liaise with specific faculties or colleges to understand what they need in terms of what needs to be promoted. So we give them access to our central channels to talk about their programs, and then from that we collect the leads, and then they go down a communication track via our CRM, And that's when we sort of promote our sort of more details about the courses, and then obviously encourage them to register for the virtual open day. And then obviously around that, there's the advertising of Facebook, Google to support it all.
Yes, sure, absolutely. Thank you so much, Kenon. I see that Marina wants to comment. Please jump in.
I completely agree with what my colleagues have already mentioned, but in addition to that, I would also like to mention the issue with online exhibitions and fairs, because when we all faced the situation like in March and the admission campaign was in full swing, I was completely negative and so super pessimistic about the necessity to cancel all face-to-face fairs and exhibitions and take part in online events. And frankly speaking, I was 100% sure that it would be a failure, but still we had to do something, and we had to adjust our marketing plans. So I canceled all the I had to cancel all the personal events. And we took part as a university in a couple of online fairs. And well, I should say that I was wrong, and I'm happy I was wrong, because this instrument turned out to be super successful. And I guess it's at some point it's even more successful than regular fairs, because we deal with a number of pre-selected candidates who are already aware of the university before attending the meeting with the member of the university. Students already get acquainted with your campus, with the programs, and you don't lose time, because I think all of you know how it might happen when you attend a huge fair with thousands of participants who are just wandering around, I don't know, collecting pens and pencils, and you face a lot of people who are not interested in the university at all. So what we faced is that online exhibitions are really huge and very powerful tool. So I would definitely continue taking part in online events even after the pandemic is over. So that's what I wanted to add.
I'd like to add.
Thank you so much, Marina. Yes, please go ahead, Kenon.
I felt exactly the same way with virtual open days. That it was. We tried them in the past and nobody attended, but because of the pandemic, we had like thousands of registrations and attendees. But what we did as well during the summer month, so in the UK, we have a period called clearing, which everybody tries to find a place at the university. So during that month, we did offer face-to-face meetings or face-to-face open days for those who want, or those who have accepted their place at Swansea, and they were really successful in terms of just adding that sort of added value to that student experience.
Erin, would you like to share your experiences? Maybe what do you think about how effective were the online fairs, or maybe you would like to touch upon some other aspects? Please welcome. I will give the floor to you.
Thank you for having me, and hello and good morning for us, or almost good afternoon here in France to all of my colleagues. I personally don't work in the communication and outreach department of the school. I'm the head of the faculty, so I manage the professors, and I'm a professor myself as well. But from my perspective, I know that here in France, the number of attendees and academic fairs has been steadily decreasing throughout the years, but most universities and small business schools like CFAM, we've been hesitant to stop going completely. But there's the contrast that they're extremely costly for the university to attend. There's the cost of actually sending people to go and attend the stand. There's the cost of actually paying for your place in the exhibition center. There's the cost of producing all of the pens and the brochures. And what CFAM saw very recently, I would say between the last 2 to 3 years, is that the return on investment was not very strong for us. because there are so many people and because you face a lot of people who just are there but not particularly interested in your university. And so I think that the pandemic was actually a blessing in disguise because it forced us to go online. It reduced the financial cost. It reduces the environmental cost, which is something that I don't think we take into consideration, but I think the question that we face now is, will it continue after the pandemic? Is there really a necessity to go everywhere in France, to go to different places in Europe, to fly so far across the world when you're maybe only going to recruit 1 or 2 students? There's the financial impact of the university, and then there's the environmental impact as well. And so I know that now we are part of a larger conglomerate of business schools, so we tend to make decisions with our partner schools, but they're not necessarily our university. It's a bit complicated, the way things are structured. But it seems now the tendency is to move away from this and to go more towards digital and to just kind of optimize as much as possible platforms like Facebook and Snapchat and all the things that I don't deal with as an academic. I don't understand what Snapchat is. I didn't know what TikTok was before the pandemic. I'd never even heard of it. But apparently it's very effective for recruiting students. So.
Well, kind of.
Please, Kenon, please, go ahead.
Just following from that point and from Duck's point from earlier conversation about that, the cost has been lowered. I'm just wondering if that cost would be transferred over to addressing like digital poverty, accessing the digital devices or platforms, as well as like digital literacy. That's like an open question.
Yes, of course. Erin, you wanted to comment, and then we also have Doug. So whoever, yes, Erin, please, first you, and then we'll give the floor to Doug. Please.
Okay, thank you. No, what I wanted to say to that, and this is something that I've touched on in other forums in which I've participated, is that one of the negative sides of the pandemic is kind of widening the gap between those who have and those who have not. We saw that here in France very much at the primary and tertiary level of education, because there was an estimated, came from our Ministry of Education that they lost 25,000 students. So essentially 25,000 students never followed their classes online from high school and below. They just simply kind of vanished because they didn't have access to the resources that they needed. Their parents simply didn't help them, or they didn't care enough. Those figures, they didn't do an official estimate for higher education here, but those figures are lower. But what we saw is in larger public universities, they either could not get online right away, or they went online, but it was spotty. They couldn't really manage the amount of students that they had attending digital courses. And private schools, for the most part, were much more efficient in moving online. So that right there widens the gap between those who are attending a private university and a public university. And I think what you see also in terms of recruiting students is, yes, those who attend digital forums will obviously be the ones who have access to do it, who have parents who are supportive enough to get them there, to help them in case they don't understand the technology. And when you take that away, again, it puts certain people and certain people from certain socioeconomic classes at a disadvantage. And my personal feeling, and I think many people share this, is that higher education is really an environment where we start to bridge those gaps, that even if you came from a poor family, if you have the academic talent to get into university, this is the opportunity for you to be able to have some kind of social and economic mobility. And if we fully move digital, the question becomes, do we lose that mobility?
Very important issue, and thank you for bringing it up, Erin. Doug, you wanted to jump in and comment. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. I just want to add another point that I realized when during the pandemic. This is how our university runs the events. Even though, because of the pandemic, we have some events which are affected, and we cannot conduct the offline event. So instead, they transfer to online event, and in order to attract the students and also the university lecturers to join the event, they have the communication platform which is run by the PR department. In this PR department, every week they will send 1 or 2 newsletters to all the lecturers at the university across the countries. So whenever we receive the news, the important events will be highlighted first, and because of this news we receive, we start to read the news, and we know about the events. And by then, by doing this approach, we actually encourage the students to participate in the events, and also to encourage the lecturers to participate in the events. And more number of participants can be attracted by using this local and internal news every week. So that's what I want to add in this topic.
Thank you so much, Mark. I was thinking about this issue that one of you mentioned. Students being able to adapt to the situation faster than actually their parents did. And I think at a certain point, the parents and grandparents realized that their children were able to help them to connect, to find the right platform, to help them, maybe maintain a particular project or their work. So it's, I really like the expression that you used, Erin, when you said this was a blessing in disguise. Although I do have some doubts, but sometimes we are feeling negative. But then, as we face the situation, something happens, we realize, there are certain advantages, and there is something that we can learn. And moving on to our next and our last block, cultural aspect. And it's great because we have representatives of many different cultures here. So I would welcome you to share your opinion concerning cross-cultural aspects of education. For example, do we need to adjust the online course to a particular audience? If it's brilliantly designed, do we need to think about the audience in China, in Middle East countries, in the Western world, in European countries, in Russia? Or can it be just one product offered to every single group of students? Or do we need to add certain issues? Do we need to work on it and to customize it? What do you think, dear experts? Would you like to share your opinion on that? Bogdan, I see you raise your hand, so please.
Yeah. Okay, I will start. So, as per our experience, yes, we have to, of course, we have to adjust everything, and not just language, but also we have to do different emphasis for some topics in particular countries. Let's say if in Middle East, we even actually sometimes target more male students than female. And we have to do, we can do 2 different marketing campaigns. One for potential students and one for parents of potential students. And for parents, we do information more like that it is secured, or let's say, as in Russia, we have even Muslim cities. So for Arabic students, you can come and study at Muslim cities, or in some cities like Kazan, which is semi-Christian, semi-Muslim, and some other aspects. And we have to mind it, and even target not just specific culture, but two different audience of parents and students. And here I would like to mention about Latin America, because for all of us it's kind of very far, and for them we are also very far, but they have a different attitude towards higher education. They can study 1-2 years and drop, 3-4 years do something, and then again start, and then again drop, and then again start. So here we have to understand this, and we have to target age not from 18 to 20 for a bachelor, but from 18 to 25 for a bachelor, and from 20 till 30 for master degree. and they have a little bit different interest about some aspects of education, and we also have to mind it. And they also are like very family, accumulated, and when we give some information to students, we have to prepare some information package for parents, so they can influence parents after we already won their heart, heart of student. We have to help them to make parents be on their side to make this not easy decision to go so far away. And then by our experience, we can say that for us, Russia and Eastern Europe, kind of comparatively easy audience to convince them to go to us are students from English-speaking and French-speaking part of Africa. They're even more easy to explain to them than students from Latin America, and they need just more easy to understand information about procedure, about where I will live, study, and what is the process. When students from Latin America will ask you more about the life, about the city and culture and all that stuff. And of course, when we speak about southeast part of Asia, where we have China, biggest markets for everybody, actually a very hard market to enter. And at this moment, if you don't have your registered company in China, how are you going to do your information campaign in Baidu or other channels? But only through TikTok somehow is possible to catch part of audience. And of course, for Chinese students, very different aspects. Do we have many Chinese already? And about food. And actually, speaking of this, I would like to mention India. Sometimes parents of potential students will ask you first question, not about tuition fee, not about courses, about food. They'll ask, do you have their Indian food or vegetarian food? Sometimes you think they're crazy, but they really have this question as a number one in their mind. And it means that we have to prepare for them different landing page or some materials where we explain to parents that we have a possibility to find Indian food. Maybe not easy, but yes, we have, and other stuff. So this is actually main aspects which I want to emphasize. So different countries, but also different age. Like students and parents, different information. Students from sub-Saharan Africa or even like whole Africa, very easy to understand us. Latin America, hard to understand. Asia, a little bit hard. So we need to apply more efforts. We need to do some extra explanation, extra video. And by the way, the video of students, you can also, it was actually related to previous question, how to spread information about new courses. You ask your students to do different short videos. This is my accommodation, blah, blah, blah. This is, I'm going to the city center, blah, blah, blah. This, I'm doing like food. Look, they have not only Russian, but they also have Chinese or Asian food. Yes, and then you don't have to explain to students that we have this food. They want to watch it. Because sometimes, let's say, if I will ask you, when you ask to everybody to put your finger, not this one, but this one up. But you show like this, but ask to show this finger. And everybody will show this finger, not what you say, but they will do what you do, like copy you. That is why we have to show to students a video of those accommodations of our campus, a video of food and everything. It will help to explain more than words and sometimes even pictures. Because for Arabic students, they want to see that, father want to see that everything is very traditional and maybe a little bit conservative, because he wants his daughter or son study without, extra things which can spoil him. And we have to show this to father, not explain, show in video. To Latin American students, show that, no, we have a dancing studio and something which is very live. They want to see it. To Indian and Asian also students, we have to show, look, we have a tasty Asian food. to show it, and the video is most powerful in this way to explain everything. And of course, you can just publish it and send them the link and ask them, okay, you watch it. So I think it will be more efficient to use it in complex with the video.
You just hit home, because I've been listening to you, and this is so true. Because what we think might be, what we think is important, not necessarily true for the students from other cultures. And I think what can be effective also, if we ask them upon their completion of the exchange program, so before the pandemic even, we could prepare certain questionnaires. Now we can conduct them online and ask them to share their experience, ask them what do you think was useful, what do you like most. And sometimes the answers would be absolutely unpredictable, because sometimes they would mention something that, oh, I would never consider the presence of this particular restaurant would be important for the students from India. Or I would never think that the presence of this nightclub would be important for the students from Latin America. So, and now I know, and I could look at the world and I see it at my university from a different perspective, and I can incorporate this information into the further, let's say, brochures that we are going to share with other students, with our prospective students. I just also wanted to say that, thinking about the age thing, the stereotype about age, that who are the students, they are younger, they are like about 20 or 25. No, that's not always true, because I have a friend, she lives in Buenos Aires in Argentina. She loves studying, she's in love with Russian culture, and her main goal is to keep participating in summer schools all over Russia. And now she's doing a summer course online, and she said, Lisa, I will continue doing this because I love it. It's interesting. That makes me happy. And there are plenty of people like that, like her. So it's not necessarily always what we consider to be important, but it's something that makes us look at the programs from a different perspective. But we should take it into account. We should somehow kind of reflect upon this and think about the ways to maintain and to foster and to come up maybe with new proposals. Anyone wants to comment on this? Anyone wants to add something? Yes, please. I see Dirk, please.
I would like to add a little bit about the cultural aspect when we conduct the online courses. For me, I conducted online courses only for local students, which is Vietnamese one. And for us, when we have these online courses, we do not have the chance to, because I'm teaching the programming courses, so we don't have the chance to actually go into each student's courses to have a look at what they have coded so far. So because of these reasons, I have to adjust my training courses to give more examples to the students. And the examples are separated and divided into the smaller modules so that the students can have a look at the problems and also can perform the coding. And because the online session is can finish very fast if the students cannot finish the task on time. So that's the reason why I have to divided the examples and also the questions into the smaller module, so that they can finish each one by one. And of course, when we have the online courses, we cannot go to the students' places to have a look at the code, so that we have to ask the students to comment on what they receive at the output. And only those students that have been the problems, I requested to troubleshoot or remotely have a look at what they have programmed so far to point out what is the problem with the code. So this is what we have to adjust when we have the online courses compared to the offline one. So that's from my point.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marina. I see Marina raised your hand, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I wanted to add is that when thinking about adjusting the courses, I'm not completely sure that we should adjust the product as it is, because we at HEC University try to create our educational content like very intercultural, and we try to create intercultural environment, both in offline and online modes. But what we definitely need to adjust in terms of cross-cultural aspects and cross-cultural communication, from my point of view, is the approach to support. So I will just give an example. Finally realized that we are going to start the year in a distance mode for the huge majority of our students. We made out a mailing informing all the international students that, guys, unfortunately, the majority of you are not able to enter the country at the moment, and we are going to start the year distantly. We gave instructions, and we simply compared the feedback that we got from students from different countries. So we had this very long and very informative message, and students from Norway and Sweden responded like, okay, and that was it. So they were just completely ready. They were not afraid of that. But students from CIS countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan turned out to be very, if I may put it so, suspicious about distance education. They were very upset and very nervous because they informed us that they are not used to it, that they have never experienced that, and that for them personal communication is very important. And we had to invest a lot in supporting them and explaining to them how it's going to work. And it's not making students from one country better and from another country worse. It's just different approaches, and we need to take them into account, because for some people it's just completely okay, and for others it's really a challenge. And another thing that I just wanted to agree with Bogdan, that another auditory, another group which is very sensitive to online learning is the group of parents. And we have to think about that while working with them, because especially, again, with CIS countries, we've got a lot of questions from students, but we have 3 times more from parents. And parents were calling us and sending us messages, and some of them are quite, adult, and they belong to elderly group, and they were just completely shocked and nervous. Step by step, with investing a lot in the support, we managed to explain everything. But what I think is very important in terms of online education and its cross-cultural aspect is the issue of support. And we should understand that, yes, it requires even more efforts from all of us to do that than regular studies. So that's it.
So much, Marina. I was also thinking that due to the presence of online education and due to the fact that we had to face distance learning, the concept of the lecture and the role of the lecturer has transformed. And the concept, this idea of a group of students listening to the professor, sometimes maybe interacting, this has vanished away. Because now, when we have to go online, when I deliver a speech, every 15 minutes I would need their feedback. I would go to the students, I would ask them, hey guys, what was on this slide? Is everything clear? And I want you to be actively involved. I want it to kind of to be something in the middle, something in between the seminar or the workshop and the lecture. So the lecture, in a sense that we understood it previously, is no longer active. And so we have to adjust the approach. We have to maybe switch it, so change it, again, depending on the audience, depending on the situation. But what do you take of it? Would you like to comment on that? Any ideas? Or maybe some other ideas you would like to comment on? But I was just concerned, and I thought that we're no longer going to have this lectures in this classical format. And again, also, one more very important issue, and maybe you can comment on this. What I've noticed that students from some cultures, they feel very much at ease at being given a particular task or assignment, and having an opportunity to work independently, versus students from some other cultures had certain difficulties, and they had to be constantly monitored. What can we do with this? And is there any opportunity to help them, to kind of find the flexible approach. And have you yourself faced this? Anyone want to comment? Yes.
I think this is a very difficult topic, and I want to agree with Marina that a very important aspect is support. And when we do all courses online, we must have very powerful support, and it should be customized according to country of origin of each student, their culture, and maybe to think about kind of different sort of candies in form of maybe some interactive events, or maybe to have everybody involved, maybe to do like this, to make them friends, maybe to create like we have a normal international day when everybody has table and he presents his country, like culture, food, and blah blah blah. Organize kind of conference for a class. Let's say I have a class of 15 students from different countries, and to make them more excited, to make them friends, and to make them want to attend class, not to miss, but to come and do this online courses when it's difficult for us to monitor, but to involve them. Then create this international day online when everybody will be like us kind of speakers, and he say, okay, I'm from Jordan, this is our dress, and I prepare this cup of coffee, taste it by digital, and they will feel everybody more like friends. They will understand that, yeah, we are one class. He told me about Russia, he told me about Brazil, about China, about India, and they will feel, okay, yeah, I like this, because we have to create feeling inside their heart that I like this and I'm part of this. And by this way, we will have our distant students are more like, on campus students. They will feel that they are part of this educational process, and they will want to again attend this class, because maybe after 1 month we will again create some event for them, which will be interesting for them to attend, and again to catch new portion of this interesting feeling that something is going on. I think this is the best way to do kind of this, virtual candies, which gives them the real feeling of being part of this educational process, part of real students, real class, real teacher, and also tell them that, guys, if you start studying now, you are not going to miss 1 year. And after maybe 3 or 6 months, we are going to meet, and then go together to the center of our city, and enjoy as students, as people, all that stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Bogdan. I see that Doug wants to add something. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi everyone, and hi Bogdan. Sorry to disturb you a little bit, and I'm going to catch my bus to go back to city. So just want to say thank you to all of you, and thank you very much for sharing this useful information to us. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you. Yes, we have just a few minutes left, but still, I was the last issue. Of course, there are plenty of issues that we can continue and move on talking and chatting, but this is all very important, and this is all very interesting that we have a certain challenge, and at the same time we look at this, at the process of this challenge as an opportunity for us to grow as professionals, as an opportunity for us to grow as professors. And this is what this is the approach that I prefer to stick to, because, well, I know that still some of the people, some of the representatives of the academic institutions, they would say, oh, we're not really happy with this, oh, we would like to go back to this face-to-face communication. But, well, sorry, this model is no longer working. We have to move on. We have to move forward. And actually, all the ideas that you mentioned, all the cases that you brought up, they are absolutely valuable. And we'll touch upon this idea of virtual fairs. And honestly, going offline, speaking about offline fairs, I didn't think they were that that's impressive. Now, I think as a virtual tool, they might work and they should work. So, Bogdan, thank you so much for being so emotional about it and being able to describe it and sharing your experience with all the participants. And also, I want to thank you, Marina, for sharing your ideas and for sharing the cases that you encountered at your university. And I want to highlight the idea that we don't necessarily need to change and adjust the product. It has to be something stable, but we can work with the approaches. I really like it, and I think that this should be something we can all bring out of this meeting, because how to work with the students who come from different cultures, how to work with their parents, because in some particular cultures, parents are also, they're not studying, but they feel like they are studying. And they are involved in the educational process maybe even more actively than their kids. And we definitely have to take this into consideration. And how to explain when you said that when you mentioned this case, when the students from former NIS countries, from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, were having problems and they were not really ready to study online. And this resonates with me because I heard about similar cases here at our university. And I think that what we can do is only try to make more efforts and explain, talk and communicate and never give up. Because whenever we think that, there would be something that will stumble us, that we might fall down. And no, we have to move on. We have to move on, try our best, and maybe this technique would work. Maybe this will help us, and maybe the students, perhaps I understand, they worry, they're not used to this particular type of communication, but when they come and when they see it and when they try, they will understand that it's not so bad. And maybe they would not want to go back to face-to-face communication, So anything, guys? We still have just a few minutes left, so anything you would want to share, please, Kenon.
Just following on from your points, I think that is the beauty of education. I think with this pandemic, the whole sector across the world have showed that we are resilient, we can adapt, and we are agile to deliver what we have to deliver. And I think we're all in it to change the world, to change people's lives.
That's a beautiful statement. And I also want to highlight, I've been talking to one of my colleagues recently, and he said, hey, do you actually acknowledge that we're in a privileged position, that we can work online? Because, well, considering the economic situation, considering the fact that many people were just lost their jobs, and we can still work and come up with new ideas. So, well, I think at least looking at this particular fact, we have to feel grateful and positive and try to continue being optimistic. And what I think is important is to constantly be looking for inspiration. And now, guys, as I've been listening to you, I have a lot of inspiration now. You've been inspiring me, and I would like to thank each one of you. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Kenon. Thank you, Bogdan. Thank you, Erin. Thank you. Pinar is not here, but those participants who had Pinar, thank you very much for joining. I know you had some problem with connections, but we appreciate you being with us, and I really appreciate you being so honest, sincere, optimistic, which is important right now. I wish you all the best, and I hope that there is something that during this session you received some information that you might incorporate into your future projects and proposals. And I would be here. I would be happy to participate in future discussions with you, because you are all great experts and wonderful communicators. So thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you sharing your ideas, and that was a brilliant discussion, I think.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's nice
you.
to
Thank
meet
you
all
so
of
much.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.